Students sometimes fail for a lot of reasons. Many students come here with lofty goals. Many students are dream killers. If you make the wrong choices, they will drag you down.
My School News TV, giving you a voice.
It's like a norm in Nigeria to say they gave me F when you fail, and I got A when I pass. From your experience as a lecturer, why do you think students fail?
Well, I think we should ask, why do some students fail?
Okay.
Because clearly you didn't fail.
Okay, some students, yes.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
So,
And many adults also fail. Students sometimes fail for a lot of reasons. There is no size that fits all. So we cannot use one instance, for instance, and generalize to the entire student population. We cannot do that. There are several reasons. Number one is that students come here sometimes and make wrong choices. I do believe that God has given us the power to choose our friends. So you need to choose your friends wisely. Nobody chooses who their parents will be, who your siblings will be. Nobody ever chose to be a Nigerian. God made all those choices for us. But when it comes to choosing friends, God has given you the right, the power to choose your friend, but also has advised us to be wise in choosing friends, because evil companionship will always corrupt good character. That's what the Holy Book says. Many students come here with lofty goals. They, without realizing that the kind of people you associate with will go a long way in determining whether you're able to achieve your goals or not. Many students are dream killers. So if you want to actualize your dreams, choose the kind of friends that will help you achieve your goals. If you make the wrong choices, they will drag you down, because they have also determined they're already down and cannot do anything to get up, so they want to drag you down. So that's number one. Number two is that some students naturally find it difficult to stay in one place. They lack the discipline to stay in one place for more than 5 minutes. They have this itch on their legs. You turn the corner, you see them.
on the go.
You turn the other corner, you see them. You go to the market, you see them. They're not there for anything. They just cannot stay in one place. They suffer from what psychologists call attention deficit disorder. And because they are far away from home, there is nobody that will guide them or exert some influence on them to learn to stay in one place. So when I find out that there are students like that, I go out of my way to fish them out and find a way to control their movements and get them not just to study, but to find other students that would help them, get to the finish line without falling behind. There are students that will read, and they are so studious that each time you go to the class, you see them there. They can be in one place and read from morning till night, but their head cannot retain much. So they put in a lot of work, but during the exam, they will not remember a single thing. They may not be described as what we call dunce. It's just that they need help. And because the class is overpopulated, it is difficult for lecturers to have that one-on-one relationship with students. Those students have challenges. They need somebody that will guide them, counsel them on what to do. So when you find students who read too much, they retain very little, and then they go to the exam, they fail. All they need is to find themselves in a study group where they can hold discussions. If they pick up their notebooks and look at different topics, this is a topic we studied this in the class the other day, let's discuss it. They close their notebooks. And everybody forces themselves to say all they may remember on that very topic. The fact is that whatever you were able to remember and discuss and hear from your study group members in that discussion, you will never forget ever again. So in the exam, you will remember all those things and you will write well. I've done that with some students, and the result has been tremendous. But if a lecturer doesn't know students, how can they be helped? They cannot. No. And then there are some who come here because they live a highly regimented life
At home.
and they come here and they look at the vast expanse of land in UNA and they see they can go to DIM. Do you know, I have been here since 2008. I don't know where DIM is. Okay, some people come to UNA and within a week, they have gone to all the nooks and crannies of UNA and they just see they can attend parties without money, ask them, where are you? Freedom is always difficult to manage. Very, very difficult. It takes discipline to decide, I won't go to this place, it will not go well for me. If I go to this place, it will kill me. If I go to this person's house, I will not be who I am. So freedom or absolute freedom is one of the reasons why some students also fail. So it begins usually with attending parties on campus, not being in the class when you ought to be. The moment you begin to miss assignments and miss lectures, you are going down the valley. As a student, as mature as I was, I know that from first year to final year, I don't think I missed classes up to 5 times. And each time I was going to be late to class, I would send a message to the lecturer involved or call on the phone and say, please, I traveled over the weekend and I'm on my way back, I will be late to class. And because I did that, because each time I was late to class, the lecturer would just look at her, see me and say, watch me enter. And others will be standing there. And they thought it was just... And they didn't know what I always did the right thing. Or tried to do the right thing, not all the time. I always tried to respect those lecturers. I understood that I ought to be in the class before the lecturer even entered. I didn't enjoy, submitting assignment late. The only time I ever submitted my assignment late was in my final year. I was the editor of the record newspaper. And because of that, I was distracted a lot. So there was one assignment I did not submit on time. But I had to go to the lecturer to apologize. So please, give me more time. I'm very, very busy with the record newspaper production. And he understood and allowed me to submit after the deadline. So when you begin to submit your assignment late, you will fall into the habit of going to lecturers, sir, please, have mercy on me, sir, please. And a lot of things can happen when you do that. A lot of things. So there are many reasons why individual students may not perform as well as they do. And some are so timid. They have many questions to ask, but they cannot because they feel too shy to ask. Sometimes when I go to the class, I look around, I teach, students take notes, but I also observe students. So when somebody is not writing notes, I will ask questions and invite that person to my office. And that was how I got to know that there are students who cannot listen and ask questions at the same time.
Wow.
They can listen, they cannot copy notes at the same time. They cannot. When you dictate notes, they can write. But when you just speak and expect them to write their notes, they cannot. That's their nature. So what they do is that after the class, they will go and borrow notes. So if I don't call and ask, I will not know. But I met a couple of students with that kind of limitation. So I now, from that time, I'll call them and ask them how they are faring. And I advise, don't rely on one person's notes. Because you'll be surprised to learn that you say one thing, students will write what you said in different ways. Sometimes even say what you never said. So if I miss a class in those days, I will borrow notes from 3 or 4 students.
My School News TV. giving you a voice.